Good morning again. Let's start with the second session. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Elisa. She works for DBI Services, one of our beloved Oracle partners, and not just Oracle, but many more things in life. And these many more things in life started way back. We call it these days open source. It has many, many origins, but it led to a multitude of things that we all use in daily life. One of those is not just Oracle database, but other databases. So just consider yourself having not just one program on your computer, but many. They all look different. They all have different behaviors. They all need to coexist. And even worse, you do not just have one machine, but many. So you have a fleet of things to manage in terms of software capabilities and software instances. So how can you obtain an overview? That was when Grafana and Prometheus met. And guess what? They fell in love and they just got married. And Elisa tells us more about what is the fruit of this marriage. So looking forward for Elisa to share her insights on how to remain on top of monitoring the open source databases. Stage is yours, Elisa, and I hope you have fun listening to this, because this is one of the topics we see everywhere. Everyone's got these databases. Everyone's got monitoring. So rock the stage.
Thank you, Thomas, for your nice introduction. I'm a little bit shy to present after Connor, but we'll be fine. So welcome to my session. We will talk, yes, about this marriage between Grafana and Prometheus, which make born to PMM. Thank you, the SOUG, for the organization and all the sponsors, because we are here thanks to you. As Thomas said, I work for DBI Services in Switzerland. We are here since 2010, so 10 years now. We are over 80 people, and we work especially in the middleware part. I am Elisa. I am Italian, but I work in Switzerland. Here you have my contact. I am OCP MySQL 5.7 certified. I am Oracle Ace Associate since some years, and I am also a member of the Italian Oracle user group. So the agenda for today, we will talk about, as we said, a marriage, but also we will have an introduction. We will talk a little bit more about PMM to understand how it works. We will see how we can monitor our different databases with PMM, and we will have a little conclusion at the end. So, if we start talking in general about monitoring, why we should monitor things. So first of all, yeah, it's because we have to know if our database, our system is healthy, if something is wrong, if the application has a problem and stuff like that. Then we would like also to have good performances. So we would like to monitor if the database is optimized or not. We would like also to know in advance if we have performances problems, so to have a proactive also monitoring to help us to identify performances problems. We would like also to maybe to know if our system we have some things on which we can work to maybe make it better in terms of jobs, maintenance, downtime, and stuff like that. Then we also have monitoring tools which help us to have a sort of capacity planning for the future. And what we could, so this is the basic stuff, huh? And what we could monitor in addition, apart, except so databases, we could monitor our host, all stuff linked to memory, network, CPU, I/O, etc. Storage, file systems, and also the application. And finally, because we have lots and lots of monitoring tools in the market, what can make the difference in the choice of a product? So we would like maybe nowadays to have a tool which can monitor multiple databases, multiple technologies. We maybe would like also to have a comparison between different machines, different instances. We would like maybe also to compare, if possible, in an easy way, the configuration between maybe two hosts, two instances. What is important also is features. So we would like to have a tool which offers us lots of features which can fit our needs. And the price, as we know, is important too, especially in a world where we would like to have lots of products, a lot of stuff, and we don't have every day lots of budget. So once upon a time, we had Prometheus. What is Prometheus? So it is an open source tool which is used and which has been created for the event monitoring, for the alerting. It's 100% driven for by the community, and it's built under the Apache 2 license. And most of the components are written with this kind of language, which is almost similar to C, which was designed at Google. And you have the link here if you want to know more about this project. Which are the components inside our Prometheus? So we have the server, the Prometheus server. Then with a pool of metrics, we have some jobs and some exporters, which are on our nodes, so on the client side. And the Prometheus servers stores all metrics as time series data. And then we have all these targets, exporters, jobs at the client side, which provide and collect metrics. Then we can also have a push gateway, which is an intermediary service, but which we can use in some special conditions if we want to capture some outcome of service level batch jobs, for example. And then we can also have the alert manager, which handles all the alerts. So it's a complete system of monitoring and alerting. Yeah, with notifications. So let's see in detail some features of Prometheus. So it's a multidimensional data model with, as we said, time series data which are identified by a pair of a metric name, and a key, a value of our metric. Prometheus provides a language, a functional language, which is called PromQL, Prometheus Query Language, which lets you select and aggregate this time series data. So we are not based on a distributed storage, so each single server nodes is autonomous. The pool model, it's based on HTTP. So it's the nodes, the clients which collect metrics, and then the server go via HTTP to get this metrics. So we don't have lots of shared on our server. To discover our targets, we have two methods. The service discovery, which is automatic, or we can use a static configuration. And as we said, Prometheus offers multiple modes of graphing and lots of dashboard to visualize our databases. So when we can use it is when we need to have metrics, to get metrics, to record these metrics. But if we really need a sort of accuracy, for example, for the per request billing, it's maybe not a good solution. Then once upon a time, we also had Grafana. So Grafana, what is that? Again, it's an open source tool which was developed to visualize data, to monitor, to get performance stats, analysis, and so on, and also for alerting. It's based, we have lots of data sources which we can integrate with that. So Prometheus, for example, InfluDB, Elasticsearch, PostgreSQL, and lots more. We have the possibility to visualize with Grafana lots of dashboards, plugins. It's fully configurable, so we really can develop a little bit more to have our to visualize what we want. And here again, you have the link if you want to know more about the product itself. Then again, if we look at the components, this is our schema that we saw before, and Grafana now can interact with Prometheus via this language, which we talked just before, the PromQL, to visualize data then. So now, so what we want to put in place is a monitoring tool which is good, and you have the possibility here with these two products, as lots of companies do, to install that separately and to configure that. So these two tools to work together, and you need a little bit of installation and configuration on both sides. The other solution then is to have a product which integrates already both. And yeah, we will talk about I will talk about a wedding, but yeah, it's because I'm a little bit old and I like all the style stuff. I'm attached to all values, but for you young people, you can talk about the advantages of living together. Huh? It's the same. So a little comparison. Which are the requirements for a good wedding, for a good marriage, or to live well together? So a good communication. So if we see that related to our two tools, to make them work correctly together, they need to communicate in a good way, to be configured in a good way. Then solid roots, again, because if we are not feeling well alone, we cannot be happy in a couple. And here it's the same. You have to have already two products which are good products on their own, And then if you put them together, you will have a good product. And then common interest, so they have this common interest of monitor lots of stuff, visualize then that, configure alerts, and so on. And then which are the advantages, the benefits of living together? So they share the same space and they share tasks. What that means is that you don't need to configure it and to lose lots of time to configure that separately and to make them communicate together. You already have a product which integrates everything, and we will see that with the demo later. It's really easy to install, to manage, and you will have a sort of stability then. So with Prometheus and Grafana, which are together, we have PMM, the Percona monitoring and management tool, which was born. And we will talk about that. So a quick introduction of Percona. So it was founded by Peter Zaitet and Vladimir Chachenko, which worked at MySQL some years ago. Then they didn't share any more values there, especially because of these kind of core features which are already useful, but we have to pay for, and so they decided to co-found Percona in 2006. What is Percona? So it's provider of lots of open source solutions. So you have several databases that you can find under Percona, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres even. You don't have this kind of vendor lock-in, so all the products are developed by the community and you have the possibility to use that without any license. And you have now the possibility to have environments on-premise and on cloud. So a little introduction also to our PMM tool developed by Percona. So again, it's an open source tool for monitoring, managing. At the basic, it's to monitor especially MySQL, Postgres, and MongoDB. But we will see together that we can do even more and lots of stuff with that. Developed by Percona, and here you have the link to find documentation about the product. Okay, so the architecture, the basic architecture of our product. So it's based on a client-server model, really easy. You have the server, which is the central part, which aggregates collected data, as we said, all the metrics and stuff like that. And then you have the client, which is installed on every database host that you want to monitor. And it's the client itself which collects the metrics. You have also several added services for PMM. We will don't see that in detail, but you have lots of modules. If we have a look to the server, which this is the schema internally, so it includes, as you can see here, also a query analytics, which enables you to analyze also, we will see that later, queries also performances over periods of time. Then you have the PostgreSQL where all the metrics are collected and stored. You have, yes, the Prometheus server is itself. And if we look at it in the detail as we can install it, so you have three possibilities. You can use a Docker image or an open virtual appliance. So you can use VirtualBox for that, or you can even install that into the Amazon machine. So you have these three choices. The requirements, so for the server, you need to have, for the first option, we will see that in the demo, I will use Docker. So you need to have Docker installed there. You need to have a minimum of storage of 1 GB and a memory which is at least of 2 GB. And maybe to see it already, we can have the beginning of our demo, so we will see how it's easy to install the server. So here I load my image. Yeah, it's here. Sorry, I was too fast. So I create, to have a persistent file system, I create this container. Then I create, with a Docker run, I create the container for my PMM server. And I can check is here, it's already healthy. Then just here to check which is my address, is this one. And now what I can do is to connect here. Sorry, I have to open my browser. So we can directly connect here. And yes, as you say, as you can see, the server is already installed. So it's very easy. And here you have the console. You can see in this part that you see already one node which is monitored, which is itself. So back to our slide here. The client now, so each client which collects data about our system, our databases, and so on. It's as a sort of schema like that. So we have several exporters for each kind of metric that we want to collect. For example, for MySQL, we have the MySQL exporter, which exports all the metrics for that, and etc. The node exporter is the node which is installed directly the first time that you install a client, and which is the exporter for the system metrics. Then you have the PMM admin, which is a command line tool for managing the PMM client. For example, you can add and remove database instances and so on. Then you have the PMM agent, which is also a client-side component, which is the entry point for bringing some functionalities. For example, authentication, configuration, and stuff like that. So as we said, agent exporters Here you can install actually the client with some packages. It depends on your system. Possibility to do that for the server, as we said just before. And the requirements for our clients. So we have every host has to have a different host name because it's based on host names. We have to have a minimum of storage of 100 megabytes and a good connection to the PMM server, which is normal. So let's come back to our demo, and we will install now on another VM our client, PMM client. Easy again, we have our package. We install it, it's here. Then we launch the PMM admin configuration where we set him, which is the address of our server with the administration username and password. And you have to put also your EP of your client. Yeah, it's important to put there, it's not mandatory, but if you have several network cards, you risk to have some problems. So it's better to put your EP. Then if we launch the command ppm admin list, we can see here that we install the agent. And as I said before, we have already the node exporter, which is there. Yeah, this is just to show you his configuration file, which is in YAML. And that's all. So with only one command, again, we installed our client. And if we are back on our console, here we see now that we have 2 monitor nodes. So really, really easy and quick to install. Huh? So this is what we saw. Here we will see now some details about our tool. So we have lots of dashboards which are already installed when you install your product. For example, you have the MySQL dashboards with inside lots and lots of configured dashboards. You can even create new dashboards. You can develop that, or you can import some dashboards which are already available on the grafana.com or other sites. The basic of our product, as we said, is our metric, which is this collection of our data. We have some settings which are very interesting. For example, we can change the resolution of collection of our metrics. We can also change the retention time of our metrics. And one thing which is interesting is that when you install the product, this option called Home is activated. You can deactivate it if you want. If it's turned on, you send some information as your ID information to PMM, which get this information and let you know if you are, for example, update on your version or not. Then you have another section under the settings, which is really interesting, is the diagnostic. Here you can click and you can directly download on your machine all your logs linked to PMM. So if you have to debug something, if you have to understand the root cause of the problem, you can download all these files and try to analyze it. Then we have a section for the alerting. So you can define your rules, and you can define in an easy way your notification channel. Actually, for alerting, you have two methods of putting that in place. You can use the Grafana feature, which is integrated now into the PMM server. So you don't have to install other components. So it's very easy to put in place, but it's not so useful in my opinion, because you have to configure that for every dashboard. So you have to go under every dashboard, under your metric, and under the tab of this metric, and you can configure your alert. But you see, if you have lots and lots of nodes, it's not possible to manage. You have some documentation there to read about that. So the second way to do it is using an external Prometheus alert manager. So it's a feature which is provided by Prometheus. For the moment, it's not directly integrated into PMM, but it's under development. And at this moment, I think that you can already use it, but it's written that it's not in production for the moment. So be careful. So it's easier to manage because you can define rules and then apply that to your metric dashboard. So it's more easy. It's easier if you have lots and lots of nodes to monitor. So it will be surely integrated in next releases. You have documentation here, and yeah, it's a new feature in the last 2.3 version of PMM. And this is the console to manage your alert manager. Then for the user management, really easy. So you can define several users. You can give them some permission. You can manage passwords. You can also have different roles. So you can be assigned to be an admin of the PMM, or just an editor, or just a viewer. As we said, we have the query analytics dashboard, which is really useful when you need to understand if you have some queries which takes some time, and you have to find some performances problems, so that let you optimize also your system. Now we will go into detail to see how we can monitor some technologies with PMM. So first of all, MySQL and MariaDB. So the first consideration is about MySQL 8. If you're using MySQL 8, you know that the default authentication plugin now is the caching SHA-2 password. But for the moment, this plugin is not supported by PMM. So when you create your monitoring user, you have to create it with the MySQL native password plugin. So again, the command to create our MySQL service monitoring is very easy. And you have two ways to do it. You can use the slow query log, or which is maybe most adapted, is to use the performance schema. So you can change the value of your query source when you define your service, to tell him if you want to use one or the other one. And let's see directly with our demo again how we can configure the monitoring for MySQL. Just 1 second. They are not hub. I just connect to start them. Okay. So our command to add the MySQL service. Yeah, I have two MySQL servers here, a master and a slave. So I added both. This is the name, MySQL master is the name of my service. And if I launch again the PMM admin list, now I can see that I have again my PMM agent, the node exporter, but now I have also our two MySQL services, which are the master and the slave. And I just make some traffic there. And if we connect on our console, now we can see that we have already 3 monitor services. So for example, if we want to see here, for example, on MySQL instance summary, I can change and collect metrics for last 15 minutes, for example, and I can see here that I have my first data and metrics. So again, really easy to configure. And it's a replication, so I can also check if my replication is working well on the slave side. Yes, I can see that my two replication processes are active, so the replication is working well. You can also monitor your Galera cluster. So you have to add all the nodes, the first one, the second one, the third one, and again on each node you launch the PMM admin add MySQL command with again your monitoring user with a password which is the source of that you want to use to collect data, which is the name of your service, etc. You can also, as we said, monitor Postgres. You have just to adapt the Postgres conf like that. You have to create, again, a monitoring user with a super user permission, and you have to create an extension, which is the pgstat statements, which is used to collect all these metrics. And you have just to adapt the PGHBA configuration to let the PMM user connect to your instance. And again, the command to add the PostgreSQL service. We'll see directly again in the demo. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit quick like that, but you will have slides then, but I have lots of things still to tell you, not so less time. So our Postgres instance is up. I changed the configuration as I show you. yeah, everything is fine. And with this command, I added the service. So the PostgreSQL service with the username, the password, the name that I want to give to my service, and the client IP with the port. And again, so I have my SQL services, the PMM agent, the node exported, and now also the Postgres service, which is working there. And no, I just wanted to launch some traffic here, and we'll check the console again. Up here, normally we will have one additional service here. So for now, we have our Postgres, and if we go under the Postgres dashboards, we can say that. So we have two, because we have also under monitoring the Postgres server, which is used to collect metrics into our PMM server. And this one is our service that we just configured now on the 12th version. So it's working well. And we have some metrics starting to collect here. Sorry. Okay. Then this is an interesting section. So what we can do for Oracle, because actually Oracle, we don't have directly these exporters for the moment, which are directly developed by Percona. But we have some ways to make it work. So we can download on GitHub, for example, an external exporter. So we can use also with PMM some external exporters. You can develop your own exporter and use it, or you can find into GitHub and sites like that some exporters which are already developed by other people, by the community, and use it. You can configure and launch it. So you can configure the connection to your Oracle server, and then you launch the exporter like that. We will see in the demo in detail again. Then we have to add this time an external service to use this exporter. And easy then, we connect to the console, we create a new folder for Oracle. For the moment, we don't have it. We can then import some JSON files to add Grafana dashboards. So again, we downloaded it from our GitHub sites, and we can import directly into the PMM console. And we will see that we will have some metrics. So we try to do it into our demo. Just a little check. Yeah. Okay, we can launch now our demo for Oracle. Just the listing. Okay. Okay, great. So we launched the exporter with a configuration file with our connection to our Oracle instance. Oops, sorry, I was so with them. Then we can see here, sorry, we add the external service named Oracle, and we can see here that we have now an external Oracle service. Maybe we will have some problem, we'll see. Demo effect. We will see if we can or not. Here we go to Manage Dashboard and we can create a new folder which is named Oracle. Create. Manage Dashboard. And then we can do the import. So I can use a file which I have here that I downloaded. For example, the overview. So the main console, the main dashboards for Oracle. I copy the code here. Load. So the name is like that. I can select my Oracle console that I just created, and it's Prometheus as a source. Import. And I have this kind of dashboard which is created directly. So I don't know if we collect data because I think I had a problem in my demo, but yeah. Again, it's maybe a little bit more. Yeah, we need some more configuration if we compare that with MySQL, Postgres, and some other services which are directly integrated with that. But yeah, not so complicated. So if we are back on our up slides. So yes, you have also another JSON that you can import to monitor table spaces. So, and much more, because actually you really can add, for example, services for MongoDB, for PostgreSQL, for AWS, SQL Server even, and much more. Again, you can search your exporters or develop lots of stuff and import like that, and you have your own dashboards. So before doing that, I maybe wanted to show you also how it is easier also to configure our alert manager. We talked about that just before.
Elisa, please be conscious of time. We have just 1-2 minutes for a hard stop. Thanks.
1-2 minutes?
Yep.
Okay, so we will not see that, but if you have questions on how to configure the external Prometheus Alert Manager, don't hesitate to ask me. You have my contact on slides. So what about advantages and drawbacks for this project, in my opinion? So It's good. We don't have any license. It's very, very configurable, customizable. You really can develop your own stuff. You can really put in place your own monitoring as you want. Again, maybe the principal, the main advantage is that nowadays we have systems with lots of different technologies, lots of databases, lots of different systems, and you can have only one monitoring tool to monitor all this stuff. I didn't show you, but you have really good dashboards also for network metrics, for system metrics, and yes, we saw that lots and lots of features that are available. But we also have some little drawback. Yeah, as I tested it a lot for the customer and on my side, I noticed that the documentation is not always so complete. So sometimes the first time that we want to understand, to test it, to put in place, maybe we need a little bit more time. One drawback that I saw also is the fact that we talk about that the server, you cannot install it by packages for the moment, so you have the option to use images into Docker, AWS, and an appliance, but you cannot install it by packages. And yes, maybe it's not really for beginners. You have maybe to understand a little bit the logic of Grafana, the logic of Prometheus a little bit, and especially at the beginning, understand a little bit how you can configure things, how you can develop if you want to develop some more features, if you want to introduce some external exporters on your side and stuff like that. But they can live happily ever after. So if you have questions, maybe we have, I think, Thomas, we have some time now to answer. And otherwise, you have also into the slide that we will share, you will have my contact. Don't hesitate to contact me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or my email. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. That was 50 slides and lots of good demos. Thank you very much for giving us an insight into PMM. I remember last Oracle SOUG Day here, where we had the colleagues of Swiss Federal Railways who've been showing their performance warehouse using a Grafana frontend. That was very impressive, and it looks like we have here the very same potential. We have time for a few questions, and then it's up to Danny Schneider of Trivardis to get into the night shift. So if you have any questions, please raise them now. If you don't have any, I have one. You said it takes experience, Elisa. So next to knowing Grafana, what's the kind of key skills you need to have to get started here? What is it? What kind of person do you need to be successful with this PMM?
Honestly, I think that the most important, but it's not only for PMM, I think it's for lots of technologies, is to understand your needs, because sometimes we want to put in place a tool just because it's asked to, or because it's funny, or some other reasons, and then we start immediately to put in place stuff and to develop, and then we understand maybe after some time that it's not what we wanted. So it's again to really understand at the beginning your needs, what you want to monitor, what you want to have alert for, in which way, what is important for you, and then to start from the basics. So you have lots of things that are already integrated into PMM. So starts with that. And then when you understand a little bit more the product, when you know what you really want, you want maybe to have some ad hoc, some specific features, then you can start to develop them.
Okay, thanks. I think that's good advice. Knowing what you want is important to get there. Yeah, absolutely. If there is no other questions, I think we mute the lines. Thank you again to you, Elisa. I think it was
very much
eye-opening to see how open source projects can mix and merge, and it creates quite some splash if it's done right. And I think doing things right is the next theme. We start in 3-4 minutes with Dani. Dani, it's now your turn to test the connection.